Hi everybody, welcome to Current Events. We're going to be reading the Driftless Journal from Tuesday, February 23rd. Not a lot in the Driftless Journal, but the front page has a story about 7 Yards, the Chris Norton story. So I'll read part of that. There's a new documentary about Chris Norton. Sorry, I gotta... Okay. There's a new documentary about Chris Norton, whose life changed in a moment on October 16th, 2010. This is still not quite where it needs to be. Okay. Let's see. The first-year Norse football player dove for a tackle on a kickoff. A collision with his opponent's leg left him motionless on the turf. Since that fateful day at Luther College, millions across the country have followed his story, watching him walk across the stage to receive his college diploma in 2015, then again as he walked down the aisle with his bride Emily in 2018. And today, people will watch the next step in his journey, 7 Yards, the Chris Norton story, a full-length documentary which is being released nationwide. Which is pretty exciting. So maybe we can get that documentary. That would be fun to watch. What else do we have in the Driftless Journal that is newsworthy? There's a whole ton of stuff about National FFA Week, but we might skip that. There's an Echoes of the Past, which we will read. There is, a bunch of stuff about people planning for a wedding, which we're going to skip. Okay, here's the thing that will interest us because we love the Decorah Eagles, and there is a new egg on the nest currently, which was laid on Tuesday, February 16th at 1:45 p.m., and we're going to be checking out to see if there's more eggs. The nest doesn't have a great camera this year, but we're going to try to get some highlights for you to watch. But the bad news is last year, one of the eagles that fledged last July was found dead with a lead poisoning by a lead pellet ingested in its stomach. So that's sad. It was D35. That was his name. They don't give him actual names, they give him numbers. But oh well. Sad though, because we all love watching them, and they grow up and then that's the end of them. Okay, I know there's a thing about the Praskas and the Ludekings in here, but where? Where is it? I don't know. Okay. I carefully look for it again. Because there's all this wedding stuff, so you'd think it would be in with all the wedding stuff, but you might be wrong. Hold on. There's like not here. Here it is. Okay. This is Lester and Ruth Praska on their wedding day. And we're going to read their story. And this is Shirley and Al Ludeking on their wedding day, and we're going to read their story. So, don't keep secrets and don't compete with your neighbors. Lester and Ruth Praska met while at her sister Rosie's wedding while Lester was decorating the cars and Ruth was a bridesmaid. They were sitting in a car under the yard pole at the event, and Lester recalls, although neither one of us smoked, when I was playing around with the lighter, I accidentally branded Ruth with it. Although it never actually touched her skin, it left a circle, and we joked about how she was going to be mine forever. And we've been together ever since. The big day. The couple was married 1 year later at Holy Trinity Catholic Church in Protivin. We were married at 9:30 in the morning on September 12, 1964, recalls Ruth. Lester didn't see me in my wedding dress until I walked down the church aisle. It was a beautiful day, full of family and friends. We served 2 meals, and one at noon and one at 4 p.m. That sounds expensive, however. It was not catered, but I had helped other ladies with their weddings, so we exchanged help. The Praskas had a dance at the Inwood Ballroom in Spillville. They went on a honeymoon to the Wisconsin Dells, International Falls, Canada, and toured around Minnesota and South Dakota before making their home back in Iowa. They enjoyed going to live polka dances and raising their family of 5, and today they have 11 grandchildren. A little advice. Every married couple has ups and downs, but if you love each other, you will get through it and work it out. Ruth says in the beginning they were able to manage getting on their feet, but adds, to make ends meet, couples need to try and work hard and have fun. Everything is different for couples of today with problems going to schools, stress, and COVID-19 related unemployment. The best advice we can give is to love everybody, have a good relationship with no secrets, and always talk things over and don't compete with your neighbors. Make your goals and stay determined to reach them. This is Alan Shirley Ludeking's story. They met on a blind date. Shirley was a music teacher in Traer and Alfred was a chiropractor in Rhinebeck. Their wedding day was a beautiful November evening during the Thanksgiving week. Unlike many weddings today, it was after work. So they both took a few hours off of work before the evening's event. It was a small ceremony of family and friends. The Ludekings say that while their relationship hasn't changed much overall throughout the years, the biggest struggle they have faced has been Shirley's diagnosis of Parkinson's disease. The couple agrees that one of the biggest challenges young people face these days is determination. Alfred said some of the worst advice he ever received was when he was told he couldn't do something. His determination always came through when there was doubt, Shirley adds. If we could give any advice, says Al, we believe you should make your goals and keep your determination to achieve them. That is good advice. All right. I think that's going to be it, except for the echoes of the past, which were pretty good echoes of the past, but now I have to find them. Goodness gracious. They were somewhere. Here they are. I mean, how can you resist a headline like this? Satry ladies donate linoleum. What? 1921. 100 years ago, the ladies from Satry donated the new linoleum for the toilet room floor of the restrooms in Decorah. That must just be the general public restrooms. Nice of them to donate some linoleum. Oneonta Golf Club is buying 40 acres of Dave Leach Farm north of Freeport. Fred Carlson has been awarded the big contract to pave Broadway in Decorah. The paving job could cost an estimated $50,000, including curbing, manholes, and all. The Decorah Civic Club has led a very successful year. Newly elected officers are Mrs. E.J. Curtin as president and Mrs. Fred Room vice president. Some of the activities taken on by the club members this year have included building a new bridge and fixing road at the entrance of Dunning Springs, cleaning the stream bed at Dunning Springs, benches placed for the use of those visiting the area, the bathhouse along the river was repaired so it could be used by bathers, and assisting the Salvation Army Drive. This is very interesting. The members also donated over $100 for rat control, helping make a total of 21,390 rats caught in Decorah in 1921. What was going on then? There were so many rats. I don't know. Oh well. Let's see. Ernest Bergman celebrated his birthday the other day. Several from the Mason City area attended. They had so many good things to eat that most of the party stayed for early supper to clean up the table of all the good things. That's one way to get rid of it, right? Okay. Let's see. There was an accident returning to their homes in Brownville from La Crosse Carnival the other night. 5 men in an auto had a terrible experience. 2 of the men were drowned and 3 escaped by tearing away the side curtains of the machine as the auto sank to the bottom of the Mississippi. The men who drowned were A.E. Cox and Jas Enos. Escaping were Oscar Darling, George Collerine, and Percy Knigge. Thin ice caused the car to crash. It said the auto lights on the car burned for 5 hours after the car went to the bottom of the river. That's awful. Let's see. Prowlers ransacked the Luther College. This is 1931. We're moving up 10 years. Prowlers ransacked the Luther College library in early February. Their loot consisted of scientific papers, stamps, loose change, and professors' notes. The thieves gained entrance through a side door. They attempted to jimmy their way into the vault but failed. No clues yet, but investigators are hoping to make arrests soon. Officers raided Ole Ellingson's garage the other day and found considerable alcohol. The 2 full gallons of alcohol were discovered between the rafters and the ceiling on the second floor. Also discovered in a desk and safe were 7 half pints and another half gallon of alcohol. Well, I guess that was during Prohibition. Let's see. Interesting. A group of ladies gathered at the home of Mr. and Mrs. Norris Larson last week for a project. The lesson was feet, shoes, and hosiery, conducted by Mrs. Bernie Crossas. All right. Well, I hope it was exciting for them. The week of February 8th to 15th is Boy Scout Week. Will Baker of Decorah was one of the earliest Scoutmasters here, and he has always been connected with scouting, and he now has a city park named after him. All right, it's going to be the Echoes of the Past, and we're done with the Driftless Journal, and we're going to move on to the Public Opinion, which is usually the meatier of the 2 papers. On the front, there's a picture of some snow removal gear, and it says, Snow Business. Decorah City Engineer Brill speaks on snow removal. It takes a concerted effort of 8 full-time city employees to remove snow from Decorah streets following a weather event. The Decorah Street Department is responsible for snow removal on streets, alleys, and parking lots. Assistance also is given by Decorah's Water Department, Park and Recreation, Wastewater Department, and Maintenance Department. The challenges with snow removal, said Brill. Every snowstorm is different in terms of duration, accumulation, type of snow, amount of drifting, and temperature. For a normal snowstorm of several inches, for example, hauling snow out of downtown district involves 3 staff, 2 operating motor graders, and a 3rd operating a large snowblower connected to a wheel loader. The partnership has been established with Bruning Rock Products to facilitate the removal. All right. Implement dealer questions county's tractor purchase. Zach Goodner addressed the Winneshiek County Boards of Supervisors because he submitted a quote for a New Holland tractor when the County Highway Department announced they were shopping recently. Last Monday, the board approved the purchase of a John Deere tractor that cost $12,000 more than Gooder's model. He was pretty upset. He said he had lost the sale of a tractor that possessed nearly identical specs, and I was asked to put together a package, and I did that with a quote significantly lower than anyone else's. I come in and I smoke everybody else. Why did I waste my time? In additional remarks, Gooder said, when I went after this bid, I had heard there was a stigma to buying green here, and I thought I could break that stigma with this quote. I'm disappointed and frustrated, and I would like you to reconsider. Engineer Lee Berkey noted, if I had my way, every tractor in our fleet would be green, admitted that his previous experience with New Holland equipment had not been positive. The last New Holland we had must have been the last unit off on a Friday afternoon. We had nothing but trouble with that tractor. Board members acknowledged Gooder's frustration. Shirley Vermace clarified the reason I voted to approve the Deere was the input I received from the 2 men who use the equipment every day. All right, well, he was pretty upset. We're going on to passing of this gentleman. That is the former Luther Regent and Marriott CEO Arne Sorensen, who passed away from pancreatic cancer. He was a major influence on life and learning at Luther College. He graduated from Luther in 1980 and had been on the Board of Regents and supported the college through many strategic, philanthropic, and other endeavors. So he will be missed. The supply of COVID-19 vaccine in the city has been affected by the storm we had last week. Let's see. The teachers in Decorah are getting their second shot for COVID-19 on March 12th, a Friday. So they had to switch the school year around for that. Let's see. There's a community gathering for the World Day of Prayer normally every year, but it's not happening this year because of COVID. But some local churches will still be doing a thing, and we might too. It's on Friday, March 5th. This year, the Pacific Vanuatu people are the ones in charge of the prayer, and choosing the home on which to build, the land on which to build a home there is important because they have earthquakes, cyclones, volcanic eruptions, and rising sea levels. So that's what they're praying for this year. All right. So we can pray for whatever we want. And I think we all have some good ideas of what to pray for. Let's see. An end to the pandemic would be good. Let's see. A good thing to pray for. A lot of obituaries. We're going to go on to Echoes of the Past. All right. Harlem Globetrotters play Luther. 80 years ago in 1941, Luther College will give the Harlem Globetrotters, the colored professional basketball champions of New York, a good name later this month when the Blonde Norsemen play them in a big game. Stars for the Globetrotters are Danny Dennis and Cleo Johnson. Between 250 and 300 hungry school children eat hot noon lunches for 8 cents each, 5 days a week at the Decorah schools. The menus are made up by Miss Genevieve Henry, home economics teacher. The lunches are possible because 75% of the food is furnished by the Surplus Commodities Commission, and 1/2 of the milk fund is made up by the Elks Lodge. The balance is bought by the school. All right. In a recent questionnaire regarding projects for the advancement of Decorah, those surveyed urged the repaving and widening of Water Street. All right. 1951, 70 years ago, Mrs. Frank L. Barloon of Fort Atkinson picked a nice green pansy which had blossomed under the snow in her garden last week. That's really early. Ed Hansen reportedly had seen 2 robins in the area as well. I think that's more common nowadays. Decorah Public School employees have received a cash bonus of $100 each to meet the cost of living increases of late. Marvin Clokey, one of the partners of the new supermarket grocery, which will be opened in the Jack McCall building at 110 Washington Street, has announced the official opening will be sometime in the middle of March. The first annual Ridgeway ski jump was a remarkable success with 3,300 spectators watching skiers from 3 states make their appearance on the jump on a farm north of Ridgeway. About 1,500 were turned away because of lack of parking space. The longest leap was 102 feet. 60 years ago, Decorah Superintendent John Klein has asked the Decorah City Council to consider letting schools use part of the new City Hall for much-needed classroom space. I guess they had a baby boom and needed more space. All right, 1971, 50 years ago, Winneshiek County is now in the sanitary landfill business. The Board of Supervisors voted recently to exercise their option with Stanley Humpal to purchase 93 acres in Canoe Township for $27,000. Okay. Let's see. 1981, they were talking about the scanning system in the K&S Super Value in Decorah, where you would read the little UPC code on the back of the food items, and that was a big deal back in 1981 to speed the checkouts. The Milkmaids is a new group including dairy wives from the area. It's being organized in the Winneshiek room of the Decorah State Bank. Let's see. 30 years ago, the other communities in Winneshiek County will soon have a chance to catch up with the county seat Decorah in assessing an extra 1% local option sales tax to pay for improvements on the unincorporated and incorporated areas of the county. Only Decorah voters approved the local option sales tax in the November general election. Other communities of the county and rural area will get second chance to join Decorah in assessing and collecting tax. Let's see. 20 years ago, Decorah artist Tim Langhals used his creative talents to construct an igloo in his yard on Jefferson Street in Decorah, but there's no photo. Bummer. A new dumpster site has officially opened in Bluffton behind the store. And finally, 10 years ago, a Calmer woman was in for a big surprise when she shopped at a convenience store the other day and picked up a lottery silver ticket scratch and won $25,000. Her name was Teresa Hudasek. All right, that's going to be current events for today. There'll be another current events next week, Friday. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.